Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are. My name is Anna Rochelle, and today we are going to take a look at some geometry questions. It's definitely from the Big Ideas book. I can't remember the name of the chapter, but this is all about similarity and geometric mean and things of that nature. So we are going to get started with how to solve for x. So we know, where is my thing? Okay, so we know that if we have two angles that are exactly the same, that our sides are also going to be proportional, right? So if this is 22.5 and this is x, they're kind of like the sides, I guess, versus like the ones across the angles. So we're gonna start off with 32.5 minus 13, and we're gonna get 212, 19.5. So I'm going to create a proportion that says 22.5 over 19.5 is equal to this x over 13. And what's happening is I'm essentially creating this fraction of this number over this number equals this number over this number. And what I can do is I can cross multiply. So let's make sure that I have the right color. Okay, so I can cross multiply, so kind of like do this butterfly style multiplication. And I'm going to do 13 times 22.5 on my calculator. I guess if you don't have a calculator for this particular problem, like if your teacher doesn't let you, then you're really not going to be able to solve this in a quick, efficient manner. Oh, and I just deleted my numbers. But I mean, you can, you'll just have, it'll take time, right? So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide by 19.5 on both sides. And I just did the math and it says x is 15. So my answer for this is going to be 15, whatever the units are. Okay, let's clear these drawings. Let's get, whoops. Oh no. Oh, sorry, here we are. I want the next section. Okay, beautiful. So this is going to be the same style. We've got two angles that are identical. And in this case, we need to find out what this side is. So since I know that the whole side is 49 and part of it is x, I know that this particular side from here going all the way across to here is going to be 49 minus x. So I'm going to take 52 0.5 over 49 minus x and set that equal to 21 over x. And again, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to get 52.5x equals 21 times this 49 minus x. And I'm going to distribute the 21. So 21 times 49 is 1,029. And then 21 times x is just 21x equals 52.5x. I'm going to add 21 to both sides. So plus 21x plus 21x. That'll cancel. So 1,029. So 52.5 plus 21. Okay, that I could have done in my head. I didn't need a calculator, but oh well. And then in here, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 73.5. And a lot of times students tend to remember the like multiplication and division and how to solve the equation and how to cross multiply. It's just setting it up that is really challenging. So my biggest piece of advice is always fraction equals fraction. And this is like kind of the way that I set it up, right? This 52.5 is in the numerator, 21 is also in the numerator, and then this 49 minus x and x are both in the denominator. Another thing that students tend to forget is if I had letters on all of these pieces and it didn't say find the value of X, but let's say like it said find the value of like AB or something, and this happened to be, whoa, that is really thick. And this happens to be AB, you would have to go in and you would do 49 minus 14 and get 35. So then you would know that this section is 35 and this section is 14, and then, things like that. Or maybe it would say like find all the missing lengths. Okay. Find the length of the median of 21. So now that we know that these are both similar, we kind of know that we have another fraction. So I'm going to have this fraction here of 14 over 21. But because this triangle is flipped, what's really going to happen, it's going to be 22 over 14, right? So because this triangle is flipped, and I know that ABC is similar to DEF, I want to make sure that it's, flipped the right way. And since this FQ is what we're looking for here, we know we're going to create this like X over 21 here, and I'm going to have X over 21 in here. And I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did in the past two problems. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure I don't have a crazy pants thick marker. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 14x equals 22 times 21 is 462. And then I'm going to divide by 14 on both sides. So x is 33. And that's it. That's all I'm doing is I'm just trying to make it so that I have a proportion, so that I have, one fraction equals another fraction. Okay, let's do the next one. So in this case, again, it's the same exact thing. The only thing is we're going to be flipped. And since we're looking for, in this case, FQ, whatever X is, we're going to have to plug it back into this in order to find the actual final answer. So again, I'm going to create a fraction, but instead of doing 16 over 5x minus 11, I'm going to go 5x minus 11 over 16 is going to be equal to this 4x plus 8 over 24. Now, some options include you could simplify without making these numbers so extravagant. What do I mean by simplify? I know that this 4x plus 8 can actually be turned into 4 times x plus 2. And I know that if I have 4 in the numerator and 24 in the denominator, I can actually simplify by dividing both of them by 4 and get 6 in the denominator and 1 in the numerator. So realistically, my entire problem will look like 5x minus 11 over 16 equals this x plus 2 over 6. Now, the reason why I like doing this is because I have smaller numbers to work with, right? I'm not spending as much time thinking about this if I don't have a calculator on an assessment or on a homework assignment. I've got lots of other things going on. Another way that you can actually simplify is simplifying across with these fractions. So I know 2 goes into both of these numbers. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So now I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to have this 5x minus 11 over 8 equals x plus 2. Whoops, that's a weird 2. Over 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross multiply everything. I'm kind of running out of room, so hopefully this works. So I've got 3 times 5x minus 11 equals 8 times this x plus 2. So I'm going to distribute and get 15x minus 33 equals 8x plus 16. I'm going to add the 33 to both sides. And at the same time, I'm going to subtract 8 so that these guys both go away. So I'm going to be left with 7x equals 49. And so X is going to be 7. That's not my final answer because we're looking for the median, FQ. So we're going to go in and we're going to say 4 times 7 plus 8. So this is 28 plus 8 is 36. And so my FQ, the distance of FQ is going to be 36 units. Um, this kind of problem, if you're not used to simplifying things all the way and then multiplying, you will definitely get the same exact answer if you just go ahead and cross multiply straight from the very beginning. The only thing that will be different is that your numbers will be bigger throughout, and if you're using a calculator, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, let's take a look at this last problem. So it says 2 trees are growing in a clearing. The first tree is 8 feet tall and casts a 5-foot shadow. The second tree casts a 20-foot shadow. How tall is the second tree to the nearest foot? So we're going to draw two triangles. And in order to create two triangles that are like similar, I'm going to create two right triangles, right? Because typically we know like trees tend to grow up. Like here's my tree, right? It's so beautiful. Look at that. Here's my tree. And then my sun is kind of like over here. Like, look at that. It's so happy. It's shining down. And so really the shadow kind of goes in this direction. This portion here of my triangle never really gets seen, but we do understand that it is part of a triangle and that my two triangles are similar, the two triangles that are created. So I've got an 8-foot tree and a 5-foot shadow, and then I've got a 20-foot tree with an unknown shadow. So again, I'm going to go 8 over 5 equals 20 over x. Again, I'm creating this fraction equals this fraction over here, right? 8 over 5 is 20 over x. Every single time that you have these kinds of triangles that are similar, you can always go in and you can always create a similarity fraction, okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply these guys and these guys. So I'm going to end up with 8x equals 100. And then I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. So my unknown shadow is going to be 100 divided by 8, which is about 12, which is actually 12.5. And so because they're looking for the nearest tenth, we can always leave it as 12.5 feet as a final answer. I hope that this was helpful and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Bye.